Brigadier General Patrick yesterday saying that air defense for Ukraine is the Department of Defense's top concern right now. This is the Biden administration reportedly finalizing plans to send the Patriot missile defense system to Ukraine, which would be the most effective long-range system sent there so far. Joining me right now is Alabama Senator, member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Tommy Tuberville. And Senator, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. Ukraine has been asking for these missiles since the start of this war. What took so long, and is this the right move?
Well, it's typical this administration speaks out both sides of its mouth. You know, they're putting all kind of regulations on our defense contractors making these missiles and defense missiles, and they want to study the impact of bombs on the environment. They're into military abortions now. But listen, we're all for defending Ukraine. We knew this was coming, and it's obviously we're getting intel that they're going to be more of a missile war than a ground war, and so they need to be protected. But there's a lot of questions with this. First of all, do we have enough to give? We've got them all over NATO. It takes a lot of training, Maria, to do this, and we do not need to send our people in there running these machines. Hopefully it's a quick process, but it's not a quick process to train on these Patriots. So there's a lot of variables that go along here. Again, this is going to get ugly. Putin's not going to sit back and let up on Ukraine. He's going to let them have it, and if this will help, we're all for it. But we got to do it the right way. And I know that, you know, I talked to Prime Minister Modi in India last year about him buying Russian defense missiles, and we wouldn't sell them to him. But you know, we need to start helping our allies, and we need to help Ukraine. So we'll see what happens on this, but we have not heard anything about this from the armed services side.
Well, I mean, frankly, this whole issue sparks a whole nother issue, and that is the money spent on our own defenses. I want to ask you about the money allocated for defense spending and where we sit right now. You look at the Navy versus the Navy in China. You look at the major threats that this country faces right now, predominantly from communist China. I mean, former CIA director and retired Army General David Patriot is commenting on the National Defense Authorization Act, telling FoxNews.com that he's concerned about the military's readiness due to the misperceptions about COVID-19 military vaccine mandate, Senator. That's one issue, but what about the fact that this NDAA actually has flat spending on defense? I know you and your colleagues are talking about, oh, you know, we got more money than President Biden wanted allocated toward defense, but when you consider inflation running at 7-8% right now, and you look at these numbers, there's no major increase in defense spending in this new bill.
No, you're exactly right. We passed the NDAA in conference meetings back in June. They use it up here as a political ploy. They've been wanting to just load things down, Maria, with it, that is non-defense. This is something that should have been done 3 months ago. We should have put some kind of clause in there for inflation. If we don't have defense of this country, we're in a huge problem. And as you said earlier, China is out-sprinting us to the finish line in space, in the ground, on the sea, in the air, and we're sitting back watching it happen. We got to make our mind up if we want to protect the American people with this administration, or are we going to worry about all these woke agenda priorities that they have? This is the most important thing going right now, is the defense of our country and the defense of our allies.
So what can you do about it? I mean, you're an elected official. Are you going to move the needle on this, or what in the new Congress? I mean, what can you do about this? We know that China is putting its defense and its military as a priority as it gets set to, I don't know, invade Taiwan, continue the provocations, not just on Taiwan, but also on America.
Well, it's not a big priority for this administration unless we really bring it up. Again, we're in the minority. Leader Schumer is a guy that he uses politics at every angle, and he knows that the NDAA is important to the Republicans and that he could pretty much get what he wants on that. But we've held his feet to the fire. McConnell has told him, hey, clean this thing up. We're not voting for all this crap that they put on there. So hopefully we can get more done and quicker next year, Maria. But this is a huge problem, security problem, not just for us, but for all of our allies. And we've got to make a decision if we're going to be military sound.
Morgan Ortegas, jump in here.
Thanks, Senator Tuberville. I'm really excited, by the way, to see Katie Britt swearing in soon to be a senator from your state as well. Listen, talking about the National Defense Strategy that just came out in the past few weeks from the Biden administration, they put climate change and diversity efforts on par with the threat or the importance of the Chinese Communist Party. Do you think climate change and DEI are as important to our national security as defeating the communists?
Oh, no. I mean, they're way over their head with this. And again, they're listening to their far left base. And if they continue to do that, it's going to put us more in harm's way. We need to have a killing machine. And people across the seas that are our adversaries need to understand that. Lloyd Austin needs to understand it. Our generals, General Milley, everybody in the military needs to understand it. We need to step up our game. We're not stepping up our game other than the fact of worrying about all these woke policies that they want to put in the military, teaching CRT, kicking people out because of the mandates, vaccine mandates. Our recruiting is atrocious in the military right now. Why would you get in the military if you're treated like that? And a lot of these young people don't want to be involved in it.
How disturbing. Senator, we'll be watching your leadership. Thanks very much.
Thank you.